Todd and Erin daily stream. It is Friday, and my dear husband Todd is back. You're back. Hi, back. You?
I am so glad the month's over.
That good, huh?
Well, we're doing the insurance thing like everyone else does. We've paid our deductible, and now, that's going to start again at the beginning of the month. And so it's just like everyone in our family has been turned upside down and shaken very briskly.
You know how it is, though, when you pay your massive deductible and you're like, I am going to grind every penny I can before this is over.
So, had eye surgery, got that done. Next week, that's now, I went and had angiogram to make sure my ticker is going well. I've been on so much drugs. I have to tell you, it's been a lot. As a matter of fact,
I think the better phrase is I've been on a lot of medication utilized by doctors during an operating procedure.
That too. But the weirdest thing happened to me, and I'm not sure what they gave me, but there was some fentanyl in it, and there was the other stuff.
Prohypnol? Not Rohypnol.
Anyway,
it's the Michael Jackson one.
Right. It's a go-to-sleep drug. And so
Versed.
They got Versed, and they make a cocktail out of it with a little umbrella, and they shoot you up with it, and you're already laid out on the table, and they've taped your hands down, which is okay for some people, but it made me uncomfortable. But I'm going to show you the effect that actually happened. Now, I'm going to be out of focus, but that's exactly, you're me, okay? You're
so
me.
It'll seem normal, yeah.
And then, this is what he did. He was like this. All right, Mr. Collie, you're going to get a little tired now, and we're going to see, okay, hey, we're done. It was that fast. It was that fast.
You came out of the operating room with this expression on your face like, what are you talking about? It was very funny.
It was like an hour and a half. They put up, wires up into your veins. No, it's seriously, it was like suspended animation. I always picture that going to Mars, is that you go to sleep. It's like, okay, Mr. Johnson, Captain Johnson, how was your trip? And I have to tell you, I haven't had so many people interested in my groin area ever. Because that's where they put up the wires into your body.
I did explain the part where you, where the incision area had to be examined every 15 minutes for the 9 hours we were in the recovery room. Essentially every 4 times an hour, Todd's groin area was examined by a medical professional.
Yeah, we hope so.
With palpitations.
Unless they just stayed.
There was gentle palpitating.
On who?
You.
Oh. Yeah, so it's been a long week and 2 weeks for me. So
but aren't you happy now? Don't you feel better? And we know that you're okay.
I am. Yeah, that's awesome too. We should talk about butts since we've talked about groins, don't you think?
This is a very upsetting bit of information for many, many people. It's on your far left side. Well, no, I mean, no. Even my daughter Zoe, who's 7, knows the phrase Oakland booty. Like, she's got the Oakland booty. I mean, it's the booty,
I like big butts, I cannot lie.
It's a thing.
Evidently, they're
it's not a thing.
Kim Kardashian and Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Margaret Robbie, Michelle Williams. And that all had.
Margot Robbie has a large behind?
No, they were treated.
Oh.
They were altered. They were augmentated.
They were augmentated.
Yes. Why would you do that?
Same reason everyone augments their bosom or anywhere else.
That's just weird.
You want a bigger one, a
more
shapely one.
They're saying no. They think that's dropping off, and they think that they're all fine.
It's the best picture I could come up with.
Oh my!
What else do you think I'm going to use?
Elephants' butts.
Well, it's always popular with them.
So anyway, if you're on the edge, thinking about doing this augmentation on your booty, think again. Maybe, I don't know.
You know how they do it? Because it's very simple, and it's quite actually similar to a breast implant, where basically you're put out, and then they do a slice and the under crease, where your bottom meets your upper thigh, and then they put in the shapers, and they're a very nice silicone shaping thing, and they slip them in underneath the skin, but over the muscle of your butt, and then they cut the incisions, so the incision's back really nice and tight, and then the silicone booty is supposed to mimic the live undulating movements of the buttocks.
What's going to happen?
I hang out a lot with plastic surgeons.
What's going to happen in in say 200 years, when the aliens take over the world and they discover what's going on here, and they dig up bodies, and they see.
Why are they going to do that?
And they see this and maybe something there, and then 2 in the butt, and all that, and all these pieces, extra pieces that don't decay, are laying there next to your body, your skull thing.
Well, you think about it, body modification has been all throughout the ages, and the more affluent a society became, the more prevalent it was during the Greek and Egyptian cultures. They did body modification.
What kind? To cut people's heads off.
No, it was much worse back then. That's when they would insert fat and things underneath the skin, like candle fat, different things like that, in order to add fullness. Yeah.
And that sounds scary, and that's why there's so many ugly Egyptians. All right.
No!
Not currently. I'm talking Nefertiti, that place.
She was
there.
considered very pretty, you know.
Okay.
Well, she was.
Bedbugs.
This is so disgusting. Do you remember that one hotel we were pretty sure? Do you remember that one hotel we were pretty sure that we had them? And then they claimed that they were sea lice, and I thought that's not really much better, but okay.
Yeah.
Is it over? Because I don't want to look at the screen.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
You're good.
thank you.
What's the story?
Oh, I thought you had it.
Oh, no, I'm waiting for you.
They call it the bedbug drill, and here's the deal. The big problem is this, because there's so much increased travel, even very, very nice hotels can get big bed bugs. They jump into your suitcase, they get carried along. Sometimes, like in cargo holds and stuff, they can transfer from another piece of luggage. So they said that there's a couple of things. First of all, keep your luggage in the bathroom of your hotel. The shower and the bathtub are the least likely places for bed bugs to hide.
This is true. This makes sense. Check behind the headboard. That's it. Put your fingers behind it
use
and
a
run them
flashlight.
along. Use your toothbrush. That's
Use
better.
a flashlight to inspect where you sleep and sit. They like to hide in the dark near a good food source, which identically
Is you. Yeah.
So check the mattress, headboard, and the sheets for stains.
Oh.
And behind framed pictures. And then when it's all clear, you unpack in the bathroom and then hang your clothes in the closet. So it sounds a little extreme, but when you go home, consider unpacking before you go inside your house.
Oh.
Wash all of your clothes right away. Then you toss them in the dryer. Run on a full cycle as high heat as you can to kill all the bugs and the eggs.
Right.
And then put all your bags in black garbage bags and tie it up tight, and then leave it out under the sun for a few hours so that they can roast.
You know, in the hotel
I had heard
rooms,
the bathroom trick, and I'd heard behind the bedboard trick. Those are both good ones.
kind of takes the fun out of staying in a hotel.
If all you're pretty sure is you're bringing home stowaways, yeah.
Well, you're getting into bed with a person you love and, 80 other things.
You'll never be alone.
Do you know what they found out? They try to treat it with chemicals, and they're so resilient. The only thing that they found is they have to bring the room temperature down to like 48 or 50 degrees, something like that, and it kills them. Guaranteed.
Really?
Yeah. Now figure out how to get your room to 45 degrees.
Well, I thought that's weird because it was saying wash them in high heats, but I guess during the summer it's not like you're going to find any 35-degree areas.
Right.
So you have to freeze them out. Interesting. Same way with fleas.
Hey, coming up, we're going to tell you in a little bit here about you're in danger on I-15, I-80, and 215 because of
in danger?
The Highway Patrol has got a new weapon. It is so cool.
You are way too excited about this.
Let's get some information first.
All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom, brought to you by Fink and McGregor. Go to fink-mcgregor.com. It's mortgages made simple. They will give you all kinds of mortgage options, and this is a mortgage you can close within a month, and almost always, and it costs thousands of dollars less than other people. You want to go there first. Brio Technologies, your experts in lighting, sound, and video. I actually went into an office the other day, a dentist's office that had his systems. They were incredible. Just go to brioaudiovisual.com for more information. And by the New Millennium Financial Group, this is the time to start making that nest egg happen when the economy is this good. These are the people that can ask you the right questions. UtahsFinancialPlanner.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Friday, June 29th on GephartDaily.com. Police have released new details of a double homicide in West Valley City that occurred Tuesday night. West Valley City police officials say Kennedy Lund, 23, has been booked into the Salt Lake County Jail on 2 charges of homicide. At this time, there is no known motive for the shooting. Officials said Lund also has no known criminal history. The victims are Chastity Gerber, 37, and Martin Barron, 33, police said. Officers arrived and discovered that the suspect in the case had shot 2 people, killing them, then gone across the street into another home which is owned by a family member. Family members had then been able to get the gun away from the suspect. Officials have identified a toddler from Woods Cross who drowned Monday in a canal in Idaho. The deceased is 21-month-old Spencer Arnold, according to Canyon County Sheriff's Office officials. Emergency units responded to a home in the 6,000 block of South McDermott Road near Kuna at approximately 9:55 a.m. Spencer and his parents were visiting family in the area. The toddler and several other children were playing in a fenced yard, the news release said. Spencer was somehow able to get out of the yard and fell into the Mora Canal, which is nearby. A family member found the boy in the canal about 25 minutes later, about 3/4 of a mile from the home. And a man in his 50s suffered fatal injuries Wednesday night when his vehicle ran a red light and struck a landscape truck. The man who died was driving south on State Route 36 at about 6:50 p.m. when he came to Bates Canyon Road. At the intersection, the driver failed to stop his black Ford Ranger for the traffic light, officials said. He ran the red light and T-boned a landscape truck pulling a trailer. There were 3 people in the landscape truck and 2 were transported in serious but not life-threatening condition. And time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and Layton. Friday and Saturday are going to be absolutely lovely, with temps in the low 80s and lows right around 60. Temps are only going to start climbing again on Sunday, but enjoy the respite, even though it's only a couple of days long. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to gebhardtdaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. New Millennium Financial. We got to tell you, if you are a person who says, am I going to have enough for retirement? Am I doing the right things? Am I using my money correctly? They can help you out with 401ks. Maybe you have equity in your house. Maybe your kids are going to school. How do you make it all work so when you can actually put your feet up, that you can keep them up? Because no one wants to retire twice, do they? So go ahead and check that out. This is crazy. The guy?
I thought this was really emotional. I read about this actually because I went and had seen the GoFundMe page, but this is Victor Mosqueda. He had been,
There he is.
Victor is a sweetheart. He's got the nice little face. He was leaving his house in Santa Clarita, that's in California, home of the Santa Clarita Diet. On Saturday morning, they were doing a family trip to Sequoia National Park. Now, they arrived around 7 a.m., and they're all excited. We're going to walk along the river and look at stuff. And that's when the little boy, Vincent Gonzalez, fell in. Now, even though Mosqueda couldn't swim, he was the first one to jump in and save the little boy.
Oh, my gosh.
The currents were incredibly strong. I mean, so Victor and the little boy went under several times trying to get out of the water, but he never let go of the boy.
And he can't swim.
He kept his arm wrapped around his chest and clutched over his shoulder.
And did the doggy paddle like there's no tomorrow.
And by now, there were other people. There was a Marine who jumped in, and there was another man who was a firefighter.
Oh my
and
gosh.
everybody's trying to get to this sweet guy and this little boy. He was able to push the little boy towards his parents, who were running along the bank right before he went under for a final time. Bystanders on the scene gave the little boy CPR. Paramedics flew to the emergency room in a helicopter. He's recovering.
Oh, gosh, I thought you were going to ruin the whole story.
And Victor, and then 2 hours had passed before searchers recovered Victor's body because he couldn't swim.
Right.
And he knew he was going down for the last time, so he used his last bit of energy to push his cousin.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's very, very touching to me. There's a GoFundMe account that's been established to help the family. And if you'd like to contribute, it's Victor, Victor. His last name is spelled Mozqueda. But I love the idea of this 21-year-old man with that nice fresh face who jumped in without a thought like, of course I have to grab him. And so because of him, that little boy will live.
Wow. That's
emotional.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what we should do? We should
do a Christopher's and make somebody happy.
It's Friday.
I think we should. This
Shall
is
we?
Dinner for Four, Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. It's glorious. And if you want to be entered for next week's drawing, just share the show today. Embarrassingly simple, because really it's like we do this every week, so it doesn't really matter when you're watching the show. Just share. You're on it. You're ready to go. Today's winner is Otto Mears.
Hi, Otto Mears.
I haven't seen an Otto forever.
I haven't
Otto
either.
Mears. Congratulations, Otto. I'll be contacting you today. You will have a wonderful time.
All right, coming up, we have the story of the Highway Patrol. Sneaky little devils. It's coming up
Very
next.
excited about
I am.
this.
It's good. It's next.
We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. And by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at UtahsFinancialPlanner.com.
All right, so if you are, hi, welcome back. If you are planning big plans and you've got one of those boards that you stand on, or you've got some
Paddleboards?
water toys, or you've got a kayak and a canoe, don't go to Utah Lake. They found the toxic
Algae bloom.
Yeah,
Oh, that
So
would
what
be
they're
a dead
saying
fish
is-
lying there in the algae, so that's
yeah, that's looks like
Yeah.
like a carp who just ate a lot of algae.
good. Okay.
They're warning. They're saying not good for pets, livestock. Stay away from the Provo Bay is where they found it in the Lincoln Marina, Sandy Beach, and Utah State Park as well. It's not good stuff. It's
No,
kinda
that didn't look
It's kind
inspiring
of like
at
on the
all.
ocean, the red tide. And it's all based on algae. And you think, how can that little thing kill me? And it can.
Yeah.
All
With
right.
extreme prejudice, apparently, from everything I'm seeing.
Favorite
All right.
story. Favorite story of the week right here.
Explain about this crackdown. It's a
I gotta
sting.
get my
It's a
glasses on
crackdown
for
as
this.
thing.
It's so good. So Highway Patrol, right? A couple things are cracking down on. Over Labor Day, Memorial Day, they were cracking down on seatbelts.
It's such a simple thing.
It
It can
is.
save your life, and it is such a simple thing.
If you're going to be driving on I-15, I-215, and I-80, you're going to be under scrutiny from the Highway Patrol for manipulating your phone.
They call it distracted driving, but it's true. It's like, how many times have you been driving down the freeway and someone slows down 10 miles an hour, then they weave a little bit and they go over the lane, come back, and you know perfectly well when you pull up on them, they're going to be texting. And they, of course, will be that one person in the world who is alert and talented enough to text and drive. Because no matter how much we fool ourselves, you can't do that.
9% of all crashes are due to distracted driving with phones, and they say it's underreported, and they say the number could actually be up to 50%.
Good Lord.
But how would they do this? Oh, I see.
How do they
I
do
see
this?
the cop. I see him coming. I see. Put my phone down. I don't do that, by the way. Here he comes. I see him on his motorcycle. Put his stuff down. Undercover, 16 passenger vans, tinted out windows,
Oh.
people inside.
So it's high enough up to look down.
You're looking
Or
down.
at least look parallel to an SUV.
Oh yeah, and you're unmarked and you're all covered and the windows are tinted and they're just going to drive down there and then they're going to radio ahead and they're going to have 9 sets of troopers ahead of them parked along the sides and they'll go, yeah, the blue Datsun, get him. I think it's so cool.
You know, it's funny because I honestly don't think there's a single human being in this world that can tell me with a straight face that you haven't manipulated your phone some way during driving. We have all done it at least once, and it's stupid. And it traditionally takes getting into an accident for most people to stop it. It is like the simplest thing
I have
to prevent. The simplest
I
possible
don't have
thing.
a newest phone in the world, but I can ask Siri to dial Erin. I can ask Siri to text Erin. I can ask Siri to read my texts.
Siri's
that
very
come in.
helpful.
There's really no, and especially if you have a car that's all hooked up, like mine isn't. It's so easy.
The tickets are really big. They go up to $400.
Yeah. So I
Depending
I
on
want to
how-
ride in the van.
You would totally love
I want
that.
to ride in the van.
You would like to be the snitch guy.
No, you're saving lives, Erin. That's what you're doing.
You sure are.
You're saving lives.
Okay,
Is this really a big news coming up about this movie?
This is what I got.
Is
All
this all
right,
you
new
got?
movies coming out for the weekend. I always try to tell you all the cool stuff, and you're like, summer, big blockbusters. And I've been waiting, and Incredibles 2 is basically the only kids movie that's come out so far. And so every weekend you're like, big summer blockbuster. So we'll tell you what the big summer blockbuster is
next
this weekend.
Yeah.
We're brought to you by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. If you're tired of feeling sick and tired, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Bowden for a new holistic health plan to make you feel better, lose weight, sleep well at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And by Magic Wash with 2 locations in South Ogden and Layton. Come in for the ceramic car wash that keeps your car cleaner longer by sheeting all the dirt and the water off your nice shiny finish.
All right, welcome back. So we've had blockbuster,
Hollywood
record-setting blockbusters.
Hollywood Connection brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com.
Is it just that Hollywood is exhausted at this point?
I don't understand. I mean, really, this is the time when you get the big plethora of children's movies and all the different stuff. There's like Ocean's 8, by the way, which very disappointing, the all-female version.
Right.
Which had every great actress you can think of in it. Julia Roberts. It sank like a stone. Like a stone. It made like 11 million. And I thought that would crush it.
Maybe people are just tapped out for spending $12 on a ticket and $40 on a popcorn. Maybe they got to the point where they've seen the blockbusters and don't have extra to watch and see the crappy ones.
Well, this is the Uncle Drew. No, I'm going to be honest. I think Uncle Drew's going to kick it. This is the league, a community league of basketball players, and this guy has to win, and so he goes and recruits new players. But it's all these super old players that used to be like monsters, legends in their time.
Yeah, right.
And so now he's got a bunch of geriatric fellows that he's trying to drag down the road to do his team.
And the comedy ensues.
It's going to be wacky.
All right.
Essentially, these are NBA players in old guy makeup. That's all I got for you.
That's it?
I'm so sorry.
That's just sad.
Let's go to Daisy in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. Maybe she's got something better. She's brought to you by New Millennium Financial Group. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com. You do not have to be a millionaire to have a financial planner. Go there. Stay Fit Wellness Center. This is a good time to make sure that fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, all those things you've been fighting, go to stayfitwellnessclinic.com and set up a free consultation. This is their specialty. And also by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. Do you know that within 4 minutes they can give you a slew of ideas for mortgages? You can get it done usually within a month, and it costs thousands upon thousands of dollars less. Daisy, my dear, what is going on?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making news in the US and around the world on Friday, June 29th on GephartDaily.com. Prosecutors have filed federal hate crimes charges against the driver accused of ramming protesters at a rally in Charlottesville last summer, killing one and injuring dozens more. The Department of Justice announced an indictment that charges James Alex Fields with 30 crimes, including 1 count of a hate crime resulting in the death of Heather Heyer. Fields, a 21-year-old from Ohio, also faces 28 other hate crimes for attempting to kill the others he hit in the August 12th attack, and 1 count of racially motivated violent interference with a federally protected activity. After weeks of negotiations and a last-minute Twitter endorsement by President Donald Trump, the House has rejected the GOP's compromise immigration bill. The bill was rejected in a 121 to 301 vote, which was short of about 218 votes needed to pass. No Democrats voted for it. Trump urged House Republicans to back the bill despite telling them last week to wait until after midterms to bother with any reform measures. Republican House leaders worked Tuesday to shore up last-minute support for the immigration bill before Wednesday's vote. And a Texas inmate on death row for killing a Houston woman asked to be executed by firing squad or gas Wednesday, saying he's too ill for lethal injection. Danny Bible, 66, faces execution Wednesday night for the 1979 death of 20-year-old Enos Deaton. Her murder went unsolved for nearly 20 years, but after police arrested Bible in Florida in 1998, he confessed to raping her and stabbing her 10 times with an ice pick. He became known as the Ice Pick Killer. Bible, who was injured during a prison transport crash, has several health problems. He uses a wheelchair, has Parkinson's, bad veins, and heart and lung issues. And time now for another look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audio-visual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and Layton. Friday and Saturday are looking just lovely, with temperatures in the low 80s and lows right around 60. Temps are going to start climbing again on Sunday, but enjoy the brief respite, even though it's only a couple of days long. Even St. George is only going to be 101 on Friday and 102 on Saturday, and for down south, that's cool. For more news 24/7, check out GebhardtDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. All right, Fink and McGregor. Erin was just talking about it really quick. If you're going to buy a house, you probably realized you can be locked out of a house if you're not qualified because everybody else who's making the bid.
Yeah, like, I got my mortgage right here. Can I
I'm ready
buy
to go.
it? Yeah.
Jeff Stout's behind me. We're all set to buy. And so if you want to find out what, like Erin said, just go to their website, fink-mcgregor.com, and take a little test. They have tons of different mortgages, and most likely there's one that's going to help you. All right, Vermont.
Have you heard about this? This is really interesting.
I have not.
Well, it's like a billionaire family developer, Utah guy, and he wanted to create a gigantic development in 4 rural Vermont towns. Now, this was inspired by the founder of the LDS Church, Joseph Smith. Now, it was very interesting because he had been buying up land under the title New Vistas, this billionaire land developer.
Right.
The title was New Vistas, and buying up stuff all over the place near Smith's birthplace in Sharon, Vermont.
Right.
He said it would be an economically, ecologically, and socially sustainable development with housing for 20,000 people many years in the future.
Okay.
Well, it was an interesting theory, and like I said, this is based on the papers from Joseph Smith, and he thought, I can do his dream. I can do the president's dream. Well, as it turned out, though, those Vermont towns were like, why? Who's this guy who's buying up all of our land?
Right.
And the National Trust for Historic Preservation said that it's relieved to know that their efforts helped the Utah developer abandon the plans. Apparently, this was interesting. They had placed the towns of Royalton, Sharon, Strafford, and Turnbridge on watch because of the development proposal.
Right.
This in turn freaked out all the residents, and they started signing petitions and going, hey, I don't know what the development is, and you're not being really clear, and we're going to freak out. So apparently the family foundation that had been buying all of the land said, okay, we're done. We're going to abandon the plan, and we'll sell back all the acres that we've purchased
Joseph
so far.
Smith was from Vermont?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Sharon, Vermont. That is where he found the golden plates.
I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
Golden plates.
You know who
and
else
it was an interesting vision. I mean, like I said, President Smith was an incredibly charismatic, intelligent man. And this is a man who, well, he was an intelligent, charismatic teenager. It's not like he started early. The man was a prodigy, but he had endless papers of theories of a utopian world and things that he wanted to try and visions of what he thought could be amazing. And so for this developer, he thought, best of all things. But for 4 Vermont towns who are getting their land bought up in chunks, maybe not as much.
You know, it reminds me of a story about buying land under somebody else's name. And Walt Disney did this in Florida. And
because they knew that if he said, hey, I'm Walt Disney, I want to buy land, they're like, it's triple.
Well, one of the things that bugged him the most was around Disneyland. He really didn't like the development that happened around Disneyland. They encroached on it, and it bothered him. So when he said, I'm going to do Disney World, he said, you know what, I'm going to have a buffer. I have my own fire engines too, but I'm going to make I'm going to make a buffer of this land. Plus, he has to buy the land, right?
I did not know this.
Yes. And so he had different companies under other names go through and start patchworking it together and buying stuff. And my grandfather was actually one of the landowners and was a partnership with cattle on a piece of property that Walt Disney bought.
You have never told me this story before.
I have so many stories, Erin.
I know, baby.
So many.
You're very deep.
So little time. So anyway, yeah, that's cool though. What a interesting.
I've never heard that story about Disney before. That's
Oh, yeah.
fascinating. But it would make sense. You would hear Disney, you're like, I can charge anything I want.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would make
Especially if
sense.
you're the last chunk left.
Wow.
Right? And you
So that's why he would do it under
Exactly.
trust. That's sneaky. All right, coming up next, this has got to be the scariest drug bust
It really is.
I have ever heard of.
I'm surprised no one got hurt.
And then we're going to do a nice little palate cleanser, and we're going to leave you with Sebastian Stan, who plays the Winter Soldier from Seattle Comic Con. All coming up next. We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. And by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at utahsfinancialplanner.com. We're back. It is the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Todd is back with us today. We have missed you. I'm glad you're back.
Oh, I'm always nice to be had. So anyway, talk about scary. All right, so basically in Ohio, in Columbus, they made a bust. They had worked on it for a little bit. They went in, got a search warrant, went into the house and arrested 4 people. What they found there was 2 milligram doses of fentanyl.
Now, fentanyl is an extraordinarily powerful painkiller, right? This is the one I'm thinking of.
Right, and so this amount doesn't sound big, does it?
No.
The amount is actually equal to about 4 grains of salt,
Really?
and it's enough to kill the average adult
Oh.
in the doses that they had laid out. They had enough of this on site and ready for distribution, enough to kill every single person in Columbus, Ohio. 5 million people from the drugs that they were ready to distribute. You remember the story about the
my
officer?
good Lord.
Officer went into a house. They raided the house or whatever, and he came out and he looked down, and there was some powder on his shirt,
Oh, yeah.
and he did this, and then he was in the hospital.
I don't even know how anyone survives long enough to create that horror. I mean,
I don't know.
this combination
You're right.
of death. I
Well,
mean, it's
maybe
just,
a lot of them take themselves out by doing it, but
which is a public service
Yeah.
technically, but. All right, this is like the saddest news, and this is dumb, but Laura Ingalls Wilder. Now, I think, as a matter of fact, almost all of us probably read this in elementary school, Little House in the Big Woods. And then, of course, I loved it, so I read the rest of the series, which is essentially Laura, Mary, and their families' adventures across the plains of America when they were founding the country. Now, I was trying to think back after I heard the story, and I was trying to think, and I'd saved this to read to Zoe, because it's a really treasured book series.
this
for
has
me.
been, you've had this for a long time.
I've had this since I was a little girl,
Yeah.
and I saved it. But I was trying to think back because there were some accusations of racism that started as early as the early 50s. And
In this book?
in her series. And she actually was confronted by a run reporter in the 50s regarding that. And she apologized, and she said, when I wrote this was the prevailing understanding
Oh,
of
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
And she had actually gone back through the book series, and she had altered some of the things that she had said. There was one phrase, I believe, where she said, there were no people there, only Indians, which is
Right.
bad.
Right. Well, Huck Finn.
Well, yeah.
Huck Finn is like,
But I remember going through it when I heard these new allegations of racism, and the only references I could really remember were 2. There was one in The Long Winter where it talked about a Native American who actually came to the general store and attempted to warn them through sign language, this is going to be a really bad winter and you're all going to die if you don't prep.
Right.
And there were just enough people who understood what he was trying to express to them
Okay.
that the town was able to start
Yeah.
stocking up and do something. So essentially he saved their lives. But
Right.
Apparently the allegations of racism for the book series were strong enough that they actually took away the title. It used to be the Laura Ingalls Wilder Literary Award for children's books. It was like the highest award in
Right.
America that you
Right.
could get. It was a
Right.
big deal. And they just took her name off the award. And they said, we don't want to be associated with someone who propagates racism. And I sat there and went, And I'm going to go read through them again,
Yeah.
just on principle, because I need
Yeah,
to know more.
yeah.
But the examples they gave, either she had already issued an apology for and altered in the 50s, or
Right.
it seems like it's something that maybe you could go to the estate, because her daughter was a writer too,
Yeah.
and say, are these things that you feel your mother would allow you to alter? 'Cause
Right.
of course, Miss Ingalls Wilder's passed away now. But I went, really? You dumped her from the whole thing where she was one of the prevalent...
It's a
I mean,
big-
that's like dumping
no, it's-
J.K. Rowling. It really is.
They-
It's
they,
like throwing her out.
There's a difference between talent and stardom. By the way, Ingalls is much better. But there was a movement to do that with Huck Finn, and if you've ever read Huck Finn,
It's wildly racist.
You're not gonna get 12 pages in before you're going, oh my god.
Yeah, all the words that we would have gotten our face smacked for if we ever said out loud,
Right,
much
right.
less thought. So
Right.
yeah.
So and people are constantly saying that, and right or wrong, going back and altering. And some people go, oh, no, it's like colorizing a black and white film. There's purists and stuff like that. But anyway.
So I don't know. I'm still going to read this to Zoe, but we'll talk about it if there's elements I find. But it made
Yeah.
me so sad. I saved these books from when I was a little girl to read to her. And now it's like, no, it's a racist.
Well,
I don't know.
If it is, it is.
Well, we're going to leave you today with one of our favorite things. I went to to Seattle Comic-Con. It's the new Ace Universe Comic-Con, and they had practically every member of the Avengers there from Avengers Infinity War. And Sebastian Stan from the Winter Soldier was first, and he was so surprisingly humble, and he's being interviewed here by Kevin Smith from Jay and Silent Bob. So have a listen, have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
When you first find out you're going to be in Captain America: First Avenger, did they tell you this character could keep going? Was there plans at that point?
Yeah, I mean they did talk about that, but it was a very strange kind of conversation because there was nothing definitive about it. It was just sort of like, look, we'd like to see this go that way one day if we're lucky enough and the movies do well, and I was like, great, sounds great, let's do it. But yeah, I didn't necessarily think that was what was going to happen. It was good that they told me because I kind of was trying to think about the future when we were shooting that first movie and just hopefully lay in some stuff that may kind of, you may be able to track later in the movies and the character.
So when you were shooting First Avenger, and Bucky dies,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, there was no guarantee you'd come back. You're like, this could actually be my death scene.
Well, I had a little guarantee, I think I've said this before, where the first time I fell off the train, I did only have the one arm. I had, a green sleeve, meaning that they were going to do something with it. And I was like, oh, this is good. That means that we could probably maybe, that's where it's going to go. And then we ended up reshooting that scene without the green sleeve. And I was like, oh, maybe I am dead.
Apparently, I'm not Bucky as much as I sucky, and they cut me out of the movie. So when do you find out though that they're like, hey man, next movie, your character is right in the title with the main character?
Well, I'm pretty sure the way I found out about that title was a friend of mine called me from Comic-Con and said, dude, you're in the movie. And I was like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, because the title is your character's in the title. And that's how I found out.
What was it like? I mean, as an actor, I'm sure you were never going like, man, I want to be in big blockbusters, but it eventually happened. What is it like when somebody's like, you're going from playing a very supporting character in the first movie to it's going to be your movie, you're co-sharing that movie the second time around?
Well, I mean, it's probably like a lot of pressure or whatnot. You definitely feel scared. I mean, I certainly was. I don't. But you rise up to the challenge. I mean, it's good to be scared, right? I feel like it's a good thing, and there was a real opportunity there for me, and in the sense of kind of taking the character in that direction, and so I welcomed it, but again, I'm used to it now, but I don't usually kind of know where they're gonna take that situation. I didn't even know what happened in the last movie until we were shooting.